Hello, good day ma'am. My name is Fabian John Rodolfo, and my topic is all about principle of organization. The organizing process is more effective when manager follow certain guidelines or principles that help them make decisions and take action. So now let's proceed to the principles. So we have 9 principles, no? So number one is a principle of specialization. Work shall be divided among subordinates based on their skills and abilities. Division of works leads to the specialization and more effective organization, no? So dito is dinidivide nila yung work according to skills and abilities, no? So yung tinutukoy nila doon is yun na yung kung sino yung mga karapat dapat na makakuha ng position na yon. So dinidivide din nila yung works para maging effective, no, sa company or kung ano man yung business. So now number 2 na tayo is principle of functional definition. All function, duties, responsibilities, authority, and relationships should be clearly defined to ensure coordination and effective organization, no? So ang pinag-uusapan dito is yung mga function nila. So dapat ito sila is nagpo-function ng maayos, yung rotation ng duties nila, yung mga responsibilities nila, yung mga authority nila, and yung kanilang mga relationship, no? So kapag nagkaroon ng isang error dito is malaking problema yon, kasi mahirap siyang harapin kapag yung nagkaroon ng emergency error, no? So halimbawa kapag nagkaroon ng error sa duty nila, hindi na rotate ng maayos, so maaaring magkabuhol-buhol yung schedule nila, no? Hindi nila maintindihan kung sino yung dapat na naka-duty sa araw na ito o kung sino man ang dapat na may responsibilities, no? So next, number 3, principle of unity of command. So ano nga ba ang unity of command? Ang unity of command is unity of command means each subordinates reports to only one superior, preventing confusion, ensuring prompt communication, and enabling effective coordination of resources, no? So ang unity command is dapat meron kayong pagkakaisa para madali nyong masunod yung command, no, o yung utos ng inyong superior, and dapat nape-prevent nyo rin yung confusion and prompt communication, and para hindi kayo magkakalito-lito or magkakapalit-palit ng kung ano mang mga trabaho ninyo, dapat meron kayong coordination. Yun yung pinakamahalaga, no? So number 4, principle of scalar chain. Scalar chain is the flow of authority from the top to bottom, which clarifies positions, minimize resources wastage, avoid overlapping work, and improving communication and ensuring effective organization. No, ang principal scalar chain is means is there is a clear line of authority from the top manager to the lowest employee, no? So everyone, no, na knows who they report to and who gives the instruction, no? Kapag may manggaling na utos, so alam na kaagad ng mga employee yun, no, na kung saan galing. Halimbawa may biglang utos na ganito, mag-ready kayo kasi may darating na mga investors o may mga kilalang bisita. So alam na kaagad, no, na kung sino yung nag-utos o kung saan galing yon. So next, number 5, principle of span of control and supervision, no? Span of control refers to the number of employees a manager can effectively supervise. A proper limit should be set to ensure effective management. No. So the principle of span of control means managers should supervise only a reasonable number of employees, no? And if a manager handles too many people, it becomes a difficult manage them effectively, no? So may hirapan yung manager na i-manage yung mga employee niya kapag sobrang dami, no? So, and proper number of employee helps the manager to provide better guidance, communication, and supervision, no? So dapat kapag yung mga employee mo is tama lang sa bilang, and hindi sila sobra-sobra, hindi mahihirapan yung manager, no? And kapag tamang-tama naman yung kanyang tao is madali lang sa kanyang i-supervise, no? Kasi hindi masyado maraming tao yung kanyang babantayan. So next number 6, principle of flexibility. Organizational structure must be flexible to adapt to internal and external changes. Flexible structures cause delays, resistance, and difficulty in responding to economic, technical, and social challenges, no? So the principle of flexibility means an organization should be able to adjust and adapt to changes, no? A flexible structure helps the organization to respond quickly to new situations, no? And solve problems and keep up with economic, technological, and social changes, no? Number 7, principle of balance, no? This principle emphasizes maintaining a balance between centralization and decentralization, authority and responsibility, and standardization and flexibility, no? So the principle of balance means keeping things fair and balanced, no, in an organization, no? And there should be a proper balance between giving authority and responsibility, no, to making decisions from the top, and allowing others to decide and following rules while staying flexible with needed, no? And this helps the organization work effectively. And number 8, principle of rules and regulations, no? Clear rules and regulation maintain discipline and ensure smooth functioning of the organization. And the principle of rules and regulations means an organization should have a clear rules and everyone follows, no? And these rules help to maintain the discipline, prevent confusion, and ensure that work is done smoothly and properly. And for the last principle, number 9, principle of coordination. Coordination links activities at all levels, clarifies relationships, ensure cooperation, and bring harmony through managerial authority, no? So the principle of coordination means all employee and departments should work together toward the same goal, and it helps to improve teamwork, cooperation, and communication, no? And making the organization run smoothly and efficiently. Next is the advantage and the disadvantage of a formal organization. This report is a continuation of the report of Shaima Ismail. So the number one advantage of formal organization is the achievements of organizational objectives. Formal organizational structure is created to achieve specific, well-defined objectives with activities directed toward toward common goals, no? So achievement of organizational objective means the organization is structured so that everyone works together to achieve its goals, no? And each employee has a specific task that contribute to the organizations to success. Next is number 2, no overlapping of work. Informal organization structure work is divided systematically among departments and employees, preventing duplication and overlapping. And no overlapping of work means each employee and department has their own specific duty and responsibilities, and this prevent the same task from being done by multiple people and helps work and be completed efficiently. Next, number 3 is emphasis on work. Formal organizational structure focuses on work over personal relationship, emphasizes discipline, and prioritize tasks rather than individuals. So more emphasis on work means the organization focuses on completing tasks and achieving goals rather than personal relationships, no? And the employee are expected to follow the rules and stay disciplined and prioritize their work. And number 4, the last advantage, the systematic working. Formal organizational structure results in a systematic and smooth functioning and of an organization. And systematic working means work is organized and done in a planned and orderly way and this helps the organization operate smoothly and efficiently. The following are the main disadvantage of formal organization. Number 1, delay in action. While following scholar chain and chain of command, action get delayed in formal structure. Delay in action means decisions and information must pass through many levels of authority before action is taken, no? And because of this response and their decisions can take more time. Number 2, ignores social needs of employees, no? Uh, formal organizational structure does not give importance to psychological and social need of employee, which may lead to demotivate of employee. Ignore social needs of employee means the organization focuses more on work and rules than than the employee's feelings. And social needs, this can make employee feels less motivated and less satisfied with their job. And now let's proceed to the last, number 3, emphasis on work only. Formal organizational structure gives importance to work only. It ignores human relations, creativity, and talents. So, emphasis on work only means the organization focuses mainly on completing tasks and achieving their goals. No, it may pay less attention and uh, pay less attention to the employee, creativity, talents, and personal relationship. And that's all, ma'am. Thank you.